and we're going to pass it back. Opponents at 8, they have 2 swamps left, a Liliana that they can't activate, and a graveyard full of nothing. What do you do? Hey everybody, welcome back. Are you looking for ways to combo an Explorer, but you don't want to play Greasefang? Well, you're in luck, because today I'm bringing back a classic. That's right, today we are playing Aetherworks Marvel, a 4-mana artifact that says you can tap it and pay 6 energy, you look at the top 6 cards of your library, and then you get to cast one of those cards without paying its mana cost. So the goal is to play spells in the early game that create that energy and then slam Aetherworks Marvel on turn 4, which then lets us cast giant spells for free, such as Ulamog, which when it gets cast, we get to exile 2 permanents. A lot of times it's 2 lands. Other times we want to play Ugin, which lets us wipe the entire board. But other times we might want to get an Omniscience into play, which will let us slam a Genesis Ultimatum from our hand, and then we can go find other ultimatums with that first ultimatum, and so on. It happens all the time, and it's awesome. You might be wondering, if Aetherworks Marvel is so important, why are we only playing 3 copies? And the answer is because we're also playing 4 Karn the Great Creators, which can neg 2 and search for an artifact out of our sideboard and put it into our hand. Our 4th copy of Aetherworks Marvel is actually in our sideboard, Tormod's Crypt and Soul Guide Lantern to interact with graveyard matchups. We have Pithing Needle, which will address cards with activated abilities, cards like Teferi and Liliana of the Veil. We also have the Stone Brain for matchups where a deck wants to win with just a single card, such as Teferi and Greasefang. Godpharaoh Statue, which lets us lock out our opponent whenever we exile 2 of their lands with Ulamog, and Treasure Vaults, which is a free way to sacrifice a permanent to maybe get the last energy that we need for Aetherworks Marvel. One spicy card in this deck is Valakut Awakening, which is a 3-minute instant that lets us put away some of these big spells that we don't want in our hand, and it lets us draw an extra card on top of the number of cards that we shuffle away. So that lets us find our Aetherworks Marvel a lot easier. We do play 19 lands. We are land light, but that's because we play 4 Attune with Ethers, which searches for lands, and 4 Servant of the Conduits, which also make mana. That's the deck. Before we get started, make sure to look at the description below for a copy of my live stream schedule on Twitch, as well as a deck list and information on our upcoming free raffle for a pack of RTR. You don't want to miss it. With that, let's play some games. I hope you enjoy. Okay, we're going to keep this just because we have an Awakening in hand. Let's start with Pathway. Okay, second land from the opponent, and Blood Tithe Harvester. I'm going to play Ether Hub into Servant of the Conduit. We really wouldn't mind blocking with Servant in this case. Kind of want to get Blood Tithe Harvester off the field in case they play Fable. Opponent's going to swing. We'll block. Opponent's going to Fatal Push. Opponent plays Transmogran's Crown. It's really good in the Sacrifice deck, actually. I've been wondering if that was going to see a deck. Let's play this on red. Play Rogue Refiner. We'll have to pay an energy for it, but we'll get some back, and we get to draw a card. We'd prefer to hit a 4th land next turn. Okay, there's a land. That could be good for either hitting Witch's Oven or the Crown. Opponent equips the Crown. Let's see what they do with it. We are going to block. We don't actually care about this Rogue Refiner being on the battlefield. That Crown might draw our opponent a lot of cards. We're going to have to be careful about that. Opponent plays a second Witch's Oven. Yeah, I think we're going to hold on to Beseju. Let's go ahead and play Awakening main phase. That way we can go find a 4th land to play. So we'll get rid of all these big spells, because we really don't want to be casting them from our hand. Couldn't play that tap and we'll pass it back. Okay, opponent is going to Deadly Dispute to draw a couple cards. Opponent got a Mayhem Devil. And Blood Tithe Harvester. So they'll get to ping us for 1. We got another Awakening. Yeah, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to play another main phase Awakening. We're going to get rid of all the big spells in a land, just because we know that we're likely to draw another land in the next 5 cards. We'll play another land, and we'll play Servant. I think we'd rather have a blocker than Beseju the Witch 7, strangely enough. Opponent swings with Blood Tithe Harvester, which we'll go ahead and make that trade. It's one less thing they can sack. And opponent plays another Blood Tithe Harvester. Surprisingly, we're actually kind of in good shape. So we can Aetherworks Marvel on this turn, and hope to get maybe an Ugin or a Genesis Ultimatum, which would get us a Karn, and that would prevent our opponent from being able to activate their artifacts. So let's see what we can get. Okay, we're going to activate the Aetherworks Marvel. There is a Karn, but I think we want to get that Mayhem Devil off the battlefield, so let's go ahead and take Ugin. We're going to neg 3. Yep, and opponent concedes. There we go. We have 2 lands. Let's go ahead and keep it. Okay, we're going to play this tapped. Man, Valakut Awakening is like one of the best cards in this deck. I mean, playing tapped land isn't always great, but a lot of times you can just play it on turns where you don't really need the mana anyway. And in a deck where you can get stuck with a bunch of big spells that you can't really cast, it's so good for just helping you draw the cards you actually need, which is Aetherworks Marvel. Let's go ahead and play Puzzle Knot. We're going to try and go Puzzle Knot, activate Puzzle Knot, and then cast Marvel. All we have to do is just draw one more land. Opponent's going to play Bishop of Wings. They're setting up for Resplendent Angel on turn 3. That's the ideal curve for Angels. Let's go ahead and shock this in, and we're going to activate Puzzle Knot, hoping that we get a 4th land for Aetherworks Marvel. Okay, opponent plays Valkyrie. They'll gain 5 life. Okay, we're going to activate the Puzzle Knot. Here we go. We just need to get one more land. There it is. Let's go. Alright. Play the land, play the Marvel. Activate the Marvel. We get Genesis Ultimatum. Genesis Ultimatum is going to get us 3 lands, another Ultimatum in hand, which is honestly totally fine. Go ahead and play Servant of the Conduit. It's going to gain us some energy, and it'll let us hardcast Ugin next turn if we want to. Okay, opponent gets Bishop of Wings. They're going to anthem their whole board. We can take 10 here because we're at 23. And then as soon as we play Ugin, the opponent's probably just going to concede, to be honest. Okay, Ugin. Neg 3. Yep, and opponent concedes. What do you know? It's really hard for Angels to beat Ugin. Yeah, I'd say this is a capable hand. Worst case, we just play Servant into Rogue Refiner. Fortunately, we won't have to use energy for that because we got our 3rd land. Opponent plays a 2nd land. Looks like they're playing some kind of maybe Esper Control or something. We're going to play Rogue Refiner. Okay, we get a 4th land. That's good. We're going to play our land first to play around Censor. Okay, Rogue Refiner resolves. We get a Karn. That's pretty good. Karn can get us Pithing Needle out of our sideboard if we need to Pithing Needle like a Teferi or something. Opponent's going to play Omen of the Sea. They scry 2 to the bottom, draw a card. Play a 4th land and Supreme Verdict. Okay, that's alright. Play Ether Hub into Karn. Or neg 2. Godpharaoh statue. Because if opponent has the counterspell in hand, they're going to have to counter the Godpharaoh statue. Otherwise, if we resolve it, then it's going to help protect our Aetherworks Marvel in the next turn. Okay, opponent's going to exile something irrelevant out of our graveyard. Go ahead and play Beseiju as a land, and we'll play Godpharaoh statue. Okay, opponent's going to counter that. We're going to neg 2 Karn. They grab a Marvel. Opponent plays a 6th land, and they play Teferi. Let's go ahead and uptick Karn. We'll submit 0. We'll play Marvel. Opponent got the counterspell. Opponent's going to draw a card with Teferi. Puts Yorin in hand. Untaps 2 lands. We get a land. Let's go ahead and play that. We'll Genesis Ultimatum. Okay, Ultimatum resolves. We're gonna get 2 lands, Aetherworks Marvel, and Servant. Servants are gonna make more energy. We can activate the Marvel. I'm just gonna play Void Rend, but it's not enough. We get to activate the Marvel on the stack. We get Ulamog. We don't want that Teferi to stick around, so we're gonna exile that. We're gonna exile the only land that is basic land types, just in case they draw into more like buddy lands. And now opponent has to handle an Ulamog. Okay, we're going to activate Karn, neg 2, to put Stonebrain in our hand. Opponent's going to scry 2 to the bottom with Omen. Let's go ahead and cast the Stonebrain. We're going to activate it. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. None in hand. 3 in library. And 1 in exile. Go to combat? Yeah, we'll swing in for 14. Opponent's going to exile the Ulamog with their Wandering Emperor. That's really no big deal, because we still have an Ulamog in hand and 2 Ugins. So next turn we can actually just cast Ugin and neg 4. Or 5, depending on if they cast the Yorion. Opponent plays Soul Guide Lantern. They exile Aetherworks Marvel. It's not exactly the best, because we could play Karn and then -2 to put Aetherworks Marvel from exile back into our hand, if we ever draw back into it. But honestly, I think we're just going to cast another Ulamog to present another threat. We're going to exile 2 of their lands. Opponent's going to Memory Deluge. Okay. And opponent concedes. Too good. We're out here casting Aetherworks Marvels, getting basically 4-mana Ulamogs, and in the worst case scenario, we just hardcast them apparently. Opponent rolls down to 6. It's going to play Aether Hub. Opponent plays Farmland, probably playing Angels or something. Kind of want to play Attune with Aether. That way we can go get a Forest. And we'll play the Forest. Okay, we'll play another Aether Hub. We're going to cast Rogue Refiner. Refiner hits the battlefield. We'll draw a card, make 2 energy. We get another Aether Hub. Opponent's going to play Grizzly Salvage, so they're playing Abzan Greasefang. They'll take the Greasefang. No artifacts so far. If we can go find Karn, Karn is actually enough to win this entire matchup. Okay, opponent plays Witherbloom Command. Still no vehicles. They take Takanuma. They get a land. We draw a land. We'll play Servant. And we'll play another land. We'll swing in for 3. Opponent plays Corpse Churn. They finally find an Eska's Chariot. They play a 4th land. We got Harness Lightning, which is perfect. So we're going to play a 5th land. So we don't have the mana that we need for Genesis Ultimatum yet. Let's go ahead and swing in for 5. And we'll hold on to Harness Lightning for when they play their Greasefang. Opponent plays Stitcher Supplier. No Parhelion. They play a 4th land, Greasefang, ETBs. We'll go ahead and Harness Lightning it now because there's no way they can cast a Can't Stay Away this turn. We're going to pay 3. Okay. We're at 7 mana. We're going to Genesis Ultimatum and go look for a Karn. Okay, no Karn. Okay, we're going to get 8 energy. Draw another Ulamog. We're not going to swing with Rogue Refiner in this case, because we don't want our opponent to get a Parhelion. They have a second copy of Greasefang in their hand. We're at 23. Our life total is not really getting too low just yet, so we could actually take a few hits from this Chariot and the tokens it makes. Opponent swings in for 4. They make a token copy of one of their cats. We will not block, because we don't want to put it back in the graveyard. Opponent Takanumas doesn't put anything in their graveyard as far as vehicles. We're going to shock this in. We're going to play Attune with Aether. Get some energy. We'll get a land. And we'll cast Ugin. We neg 3. Opponent plays Eska's Chariot. We'll play Rogue Refiner as a blocker. We'll play land first. Play Rogue Refiner. We're going to play Servant just in case we don't get another land next turn. Go ahead and take Ugin up. Opponent will play Lily. Okay. They have a sacrifice a creature. Let's go ahead and sacrifice the Rogue Refiner. They're going to play another Eska's Chariot. Okay. They make 2 tokens. They're going to crew the Eska's Chariot. As much as we want 10 mana next turn, I think we want Ugin to stay alive. Let's go ahead and block the Eska's Chariot. And we'll go to turn. Okay, so we got the 10th land that we needed. Let's go ahead and neg 4. Play this on blue. Play Omniscience. And we'll cast Ulamog. We're going to exile both of their lands that can produce black mana. We could exile 2 more lands. Yeah, why not? Let's go ahead and just exile 2 more lands. We'll cast our second Ulamog. Our opponent's at 3. We keep one of our Ulamogs and we pass it back. We're just going to wait for our opponent to concede at this point and go ahead and give them the good game. Opponent says good game. We're going to give him a smoochy face too. Oh, okay. Opponent didn't want to concede. That's fine. Let's go ahead and swing in. And let's go ahead and cast an Ugin to finish him off. This deck is ridiculous. Good game, opponent. This hand's pretty bad, but we're going to keep it. It's good that we got another land. One that can produce the other colors of mana. I think our game plan is just to play land, probably pass, play another land, Valakut Awakening, and hope that we can draw into our Marvel. We're going to play this on green. Play Puzzle Knot. Experimental Overload. I've never seen this deck before. Make an XX Weird creature token where X is the number of instants and sorceries in your grave. Then you can return an instant or sorcery from your grave to hand. That's pretty cool. Opponent plays Cleansing Wildfire. We're going to take action, and we'll go find another forest. Opponent doesn't realize how many basics we play. Let's play another land. Let's go and play Rogue Refiner. Draw Harness Lightning. I wonder if this is just land destruction. Opponent's playing Zerda as their companion. We're going to attune with Ether. And now that we have 4 lands, I think we're just going to Valakut Awakening our entire hand away and go look for marvels. Not sure what the opponent foretold. I guess we'll find out at some point. It's probably a saw it coming. Fires a victory on Rogue Refiner. Alright, well, we just draw 6 cards here, and then a 7th card on our draw step. There's a Karn. Karn gets this Marvel at some point. Go and play that. Okay, we're going to grab Marvel out of the sideboard. Play another Aether Hub. We'll play Dual Strike. Okay. They're going to play Experimental Overload. So they get a 6/6 Weird, and they can return an instant or sorcery from their grave to their hand. They get then a 5/5 Weird because one of their sorceries is out of their grave at that point. And they got Cathartic Reunion. Let's go ahead and play the Marvel. We're going to go ahead and actually grab something out of the sideboard now, just in case we Marvel into another Karn. Let's go ahead and grab Hormot Script. Play Aether Hub. We're going to activate Marvel. If we get an Ugin, we can just Ugin -0. Let's take that Ugin. We'll -0 to Aether Weirds. I'm going to play Spikefield Hazard on our Karn. We're going to hold up Harness Lightning just in case, and we're going to go ahead and play Tormod Script. That way, if the opponent tries to do anything with their graveyard, we can interact. Okay, opponent's going to play a Dual Strike. They play Cathartic Reunion, discard 2 cards, then they get to copy it, so they get to draw 6 cards total. It's a lot of cards. Opponent plays a Chivalry. If they have 3 mana available, I'm going to play Brotherhood's End. Destroy all artifacts with mana value 3 or less. Let's go ahead and Tormod Script them now. We get an energy off of Aetherworks Marvel. Opponent is going to destroy a Puzzle Knot, which gives us another energy. We're going to take Ugin up, deal 3 to the opponent. We're going to play a land. We're going to play Genesis Ultimatum, which will probably get us another energy to activate Marvel. Okay, we're going to put a Marvel in play. We're going to choose the one that we want. Yep, and opponent concedes. Let's do good. Yeah, we'll totally be keeping this one. Let's go and play the Awakening tapped. We don't want to lose tempo this match. Okay, opponent's going to play Thoughtseize, which is really good against our deck, especially if we just have the one Aetherworks Marvel in hand. Opponent's going to take the Servant, so they probably have another Thoughtseize in hand, so we're not going to get our hopes up. And the next turn we can curve, activate the Puzzle Knot, and then maybe play the Marvel if we still have it by then. Play Aether Hub, and we'll pass it back to our opponent. Okay, they'll play Scavenging Ooze. Not that great against our deck. We'll activate the Puzzle Knot. So now we're at 7 energy. Opponent has 1 forest. Let's go and play the Aetherworks Marvel. Okay, Marvel resolves. We're going to activate it. We get Genesis Ultimatum. Ultimatum gets us into a bunch of other spicy things. We're going to hold on to the new Marvel. Our energy's back at 5. We could either activate Karn to get something that we can sack to get the 6th energy, or we can go ahead and play Attune, which I think we'll go ahead and just play the Attune. We'll keep our options open with Karn. Attune is going to get us an island. We get the energy. We activate Marvel again. 2 Marvel activations in 1 turn is usually enough. We're going to cast Ulamog, and I think we're just going to Ether lands. Yeah, an opponent concedes. It's too much value by turn 4. Opponent's turn 3. Okay. We're going to play Pathway on green. And Attune. We'll go get a mountain. I'm going to play Courtyard, naming Soldiers. I haven't seen Soldiers in Explorer yet, so I'm kind of excited to see what this does. Play Mountain, and play Servant. Okay. I'm going to play Beachhead, Thalia. It's going to play Attune with Ether. We'll get an island. Puts us at 6 energy, and we'll play the island. Okay, opponent plays a Plains. It's Sky Strike Officer. So whenever it attacks, they get a 1/1 soldier artifact creature token, and they can tap 3 soldiers to draw a card. We'll do no blocks there. There's Marvel right off the top. What more can you hope for? Alright, we play the Marvel. Oh, but we wouldn't have the 6 energy because of Thalia. Okay, that's fine. We're just going to play Puzzle Knot. We'll do no attacks. That does give us the extra mana that we're going to need for whenever we activate the Marvel and cast maybe a non-creature spell off it, because Thalia is going to look at the spell that we cast off of Marvel too. Opponent's going to draw a card. We're going to play land, and we'll play the Marvel. We're going to activate the Marvel. Let's take Rogue Refiner. Lets us draw a card, gives us some energy, and gives us a blocker. And if we block and our creatures die, Marvel's going to give us some energy off that. But then we can also activate the Puzzle Knot to get some energy. So no matter what, we're going to be able to activate this Marvel again. Opponent plays Authority of the Consuls. Creatures we control enter the battlefield tapped. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under our control, they get to gain a life. Okay. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, this is the one that says whenever you attack with 5 or more soldiers, y'all get +1/+1 in flying. So at this point, we have to hit Ugin with Marvel. That's our only choice here. We have 1 in hand, 2 left in library. Go ahead and activate. We get Genesis Ultimatum. We could take Ulamog, but it's not going to win us the game. So we have to play the Genesis Ultimatum. So we'll autopay the 1 off that, and we do get our Ugin. We get 2 Ugins off the top. We're going to go ahead and put 1 in our hand, because there's no reason for us to put both into play. Okay, we're going to neg... Okay, and opponent concedes. What do you do? What do you do? Okay, this is an example of a hand that we don't want, because we have 5 spells that we'll never be casting this game. Go and mull that. We have Marvel in this one. We have a little bit of energy, but it's going to be a little awkward. We've already mulled. Let's go ahead and just keep this one. The good thing about mulling with a deck like this is that we can get rid of the spells that we don't want to cast. Yeah, we'll start with Karplusan Forest. We don't exactly know if we want to play this on green or blue just yet. Yeah, we'll play this on blue. Opponent plays a land, they'll play Blood Tithe Harvester. Go ahead and get a little bit of energy here and interact. It'll buy us a little bit of time too. Hopefully we draw a land with this Rogue Refiner though. Okay, there's the land. We'll pay 2. We'll play the Rogue Refiner. Okay, we draw a card, get some energy. Yeah, opponent plays Kroxa. Let's go ahead and drop this Harness Lightning. I think we're going to play card next turn and then exile their graveyard. Okay, opponent's going to play Fatal Push. That is fine. So we'll play Aether Hub. We're going to play Karn. We're going to neg 2 Karn. Grab Soul Guide Lantern. And we can use that to exile their Kroxa next turn. We're not really in any kind of danger of them doing a lot with their graveyard this turn. Otherwise, we would have grabbed Tormod's Crypt. Okay, opponent's going to Bone Crusher Giant the Karn. Let's go ahead and +1 their blood token to destroy it for free, just in case Karn ends up leaving the battlefield. We'll Soul Guide Lantern Kroxa, and then we'll Puzzle Knot to get the energy that we need to play Marvel next turn. Okay, opponent's going to play Liliana of the Veil. That's pretty good. They're going to have us discard a card. Let's go ahead and activate the Soul Guide Lantern to maybe see what our options are here. If we top deck like a land or something. I think we're going to discard this Puzzle Knot. That way if we get Omniscience off of Aetherworks Marvel, then we can hardcast this Ugin for free. Discard that. We'll play the Marvel. Activate the Marvel. Yeah, let's cast Ulamog. We're going to exile their lands. We're going to neg 2 Karn. We'll grab Pithing Needle. We'll play Aether Hub. Play Pithing Needle. And name Liliana of the Veil. Give our opponent the GG. Opponent thought sees the Ugin. I guess they just wanted to see what else was there. We're going to activate the Puzzle Knot. We get an extra 1 off Marvel because a permanent leaves the battlefield. We'll activate the Marvel. We get Ugin anyway. +2. Hit Liliana. Go to combat. Swing 10 at the opponent. I guess the opponent just wants to stick it out. That's fine. And we're going to pass it back. Opponents at 8, they have 2 swamps left, a Liliana that they can't activate, and a graveyard full of nothing. What do you do? And we give them the good game. Opponent doesn't want it. It's too good. Marvel is just ridiculous in this format.